Hello everybody, welcome to the first video on the Yamaha XS650 restoration. For those of you who didn't watch my 2022 update video, just a quick overview of this bike. It is a 1979 Yamaha XS650 Special 2. And so I think with the Special 2 models, it comes with spoked wheels and I think drum brakes in the rear. I'm not an expert on these bikes, but that's I think what I found, a little bit of internet research and so on and so forth. So overall though, it's in good condition for its age, but there's a lot of things wrong with it. So in this video, we're going to break down everything that I can tell that's wrong with this bike mechanically and visually, and then we're going to go over my plans for what I plan to do with it, how I plan to fix it, and then any future plans I might have with the bike once I get it up and running, fingers crossed. So with that, let's get right into it. Alright, so right away, once you start looking at this bike, you can definitely see we got some cosmetic issues that initially stick out. The paint on the tank and on top of our little side covers here and the one on the other side, they're starting to show some surface rust. We're also seeing some surface rust pop up on our front fenders here as well on the chrome. So once we get the thing mechanically running, there'll be some work to get this bike up to, showroom status. But overall though, the inside of the tank is still very clean, so that's a good sign that this will be reusable. We'll just have to get it, refinished. Overall though, the frame itself is actually in pretty good shape. You can't really see not much surface rust. There is, on this foot peg bracket here, we got some surface rust there, but that shouldn't be too hard to fix. But the rest of the frame components, they're in pretty good shape. So that is a good sign. So the first thing we're going to do with this bike in this restoration project is we're going to work on cleaning out the carburetors. With any piece of machinery that's carbureted, that's sat for a while, your carburetors are going to be the first things you're going to want to look into. So we'll do that. But when we do the carburetors, one of the things I got to look into is why my throttle is seized. There's no such thing as rolling on the throttle with this bike. So if I go over to the other side, right where our throttle cable comes into the carburetor, this linkage here is pretty seized. So that will have to get investigated to make our throttle do throttle things. But that'll come with when I take out the carburetors. We'll get into there. We'll see what's going on here. Hopefully that won't be too much of a problem to fix that. After we do the carburetors, I'm going to replace the spark plugs, and I believe I need to replace this spark plug wire here. I'm not sure if I have to or not, but when I acquired the bike, the spark plug wire was disconnected at this junction here. So your spark plug wire comes off like this, right? But this connection was undone. This component was on the spark plug, and this piece was loose and free. I kind of just shoved it back in, but I'm not confident that's a strong electrical connection, and I don't want that to be a problem in the future. So I think we're just going to end up replacing this whole wire, and I'll do the other one on the other side as well. And the last thing I need to do before I try to start this bike is I need to look underneath the seat here. I like it's got this little mechanism here. It's got a seat lock and it's also got a little helmet lock, which is kind of nice. But underneath the seat here, there was a little mouse that took residence in this area here. There was a bunch of insulation and stuff that he kind of packed around in there, and kind of see some discoloration on the bottom of the seat, which will have to get fixed. But he decided to nibble on some of the wires. There's one wire coming off of here on this grounding stud that you can see this guy here goes to nowhere, and but I can't tell where this would have gone, and there's like no, as far as I can see, no wires going anywhere else. So maybe this was not done by the mouse, and it was just done in the previous owner, and then just kind of left that hanging out. But there is this wire right in there. If we can see, get the camera to focus on that little yellow and green speck in there. And I'm curious if that green is some exposed copper that's corroded. Who knows? But hopefully that won't be too much of a replacement deal. If it is what it is. But with anything that's sat in garages for a while, who knows what kind of little critters take residence in them and start nibbling on things. So that'll have to get fixed as well. So once we take care of those mechanical issues, then we're going to start working on getting this bike rolling. A couple things need to happen in order to get this bike rolling. Number one is our front wheel here. I believe my brake is either seized or there's a problem with the bearings here. But if you look, it takes a lot of force to turn this tire. It doesn't freewheel, so there's definitely something grabbing it in there. So we'll do some investigative work into what's going on in the brakes. It could be seized calipers down there. Could be a problem with the master cylinder up here. You know, when I go to squeeze the brakes here, this does not move at all. I have no idea if there's any fluid in the system either, so we got to investigate what's going on with the brakes. And then the front tires, see what's going on there. Check the bearings. Well, I got all that pulled off, and we'll see what's going on. And then finally, the next thing we got to look at is the steering head bearing. What's going on up in there? So right now the bike is pointed straight, and if I go and I turn to the left, okay, bike turns to the left, but watch what happens when I return to center. I'm going to take my hand off, and there you go. It kind of detents back into home. I'll go from the right here, and we'll push her back to center. You see what it kind of clicks into home there. So that's telling me that that bearing up there is definitely worn out, or it's kind of, you know, worn into a groove from sitting for a while or something. But that'll have to get replaced because, as far as I know, bikes aren't supposed to do that. I don't think that's designed to do that. That'd be kind of silly because you want your bike to be able to freely turn, right? So that'll have to get torn down. I've never done one of those, so that'll be fun to learn about that and see what's going on inside that assembly. One other cosmetic thing we'll have to worry about is our turn signals. You can see my left side turn signal is pointed out to the side there. So both this one and the rear, they were bent when this bike was laying over. It was in the back of somebody's truck and it laid over. It wasn't on the road, so luckily, you know, the headlight assemblies themselves, they're still in pretty good shape, so that should be reusable. Just this piece here got bent out. And kind of upset about this, but this actually kind of bent some of the headlight shroud here, so that'll have to get bent back into place as best it can to get that straightened out. Alright, so that's everything that I can tell is wrong with this 1979 Yamaha XS650. Once we get it up and running and mechanically sound and safe to take on the road, we'll start worrying about some of the cosmetic things. And I think what I'm going to try to do is try to leave this bike in as stock form as possible. I think they kind of hold their values a little more if they're stock and not modified. And I kind of like the collector aspect of this and having it be kind of original as much as I can. So I'm going to try to leave it in as stock form as possible. It's got these little aftermarket highway pegs added on. I'll probably take those off. I don't know, we'll see how it is when I ride around, but I don't really like the little twisted metal look they got and whatnot, but everything else we'll try to leave as a stock form as possible. I think we'll still leave it the black color. You know, I will have to go through and repaint this anyways, but I think I kind of like the black look. But if there's another color out there that I think that catches my eye, maybe I'll try it out. I'll Photoshop the color, see what it looks like, and maybe make a decision then. But make sure you're subscribed to get all your updates on this project as we go through. Like I said, I've never done one of these before. I have no idea what I'm getting into, so this will be a learning process, and hopefully it's fun to watch, and we'll see where this project goes. So thanks for watching, and have a good day.